Ochai, nice to meet you. We're joined now here in the main interview room by Ochai Agbaji, DeJuan Harris, and Mitch Lightfoot from Kansas. For about 10 minutes, they'll take your questions and give their answers. If you have a question, raise your hand. Let's get things underway in the third row on the left.
Shea Wildeboard, JayHawksLand.com. For Och and Mitch, obviously you guys have been through this before. Last season you guys had an early exit, a frustrating end, and a year later here you guys are. Can you just talk about the emotions of getting here and what it takes and what it means to be here now?
Ochai first, please, then Mitch.
Yeah, last year it was really, it sucked, getting out in the second round, and obviously we watched other teams make their runs that year and paid a little bit more attention than we did the following years. But we knew what it took. We knew it took, taking it game by game and really focusing in on every single game, every single possession, and not taking anything for granted.
Mitch, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of like he said, bowing out in the first weekend kind of sucks. We knew what we had to do to come out and be successful. I think Och said in the locker room after that loss, like, remember this feeling. Use that kind of to fuel you to go forward and for this next year for the guys that are coming back. And I think we can say we did that.
All the way to the right, fellas, midway back.
Neil Jones, Kansas City, KCTV5. Ochai, this is for you. What do you think it says about Kansas City basketball, high school basketball, that a couple of guys from KC are leading a team and being a number one seed?
It says a lot. It says a lot about the talent coming out of Kansas City in the metro area. All the guys on our team that are local and from our area, it means just a little bit more to them that we're representing Kansas City well and Kansas obviously, but no, just being local, it's really nice to always have that support from Kansas City, and yeah, it's just nice.
All the way up front, all the way right.
Scott Gleason with USA Today. This is for all three players. If you guys could talk about Remy Martin's play in this tournament and what he's meant to the team, not just from only his play, but just his leadership and his fire.
We'll start with Ochai, then move to DeJuan, and then Mitch.
He's been great. Just bringing us energy off the bench, being that sixth man that comes in and kind of gives us a different look. Kind of changes things up for what they're scouting against us. But no, he just brings a different dynamic offensively, and just his energy and all the stuff that he does for us is really good.
DeJuan, same question about Remy.
Well, Ochai said he's fun to play with. He brings great energy, and then he moves me off the ball sometimes too. So when he comes in, he get to make plays and make everything happen for us. So yeah, it's fun playing with him.
And Mitch.
Yeah, like you said, his fire it's tangible. I think everybody on the team can feed off that. He makes playing the game of basketball even more fun. Yeah, playing with him is more fun.
Three questions up front to the left. Let's start in the third row. Let's start in the second row.
Michael Swain for 24/7 Sports. For Mitch and Ochai, there's a lineup you guys go to, I think, after the under-16 timeout, usually with you two and CB, Wilson, and Remy. What about that lineup allows you guys to have some success? It seems like you guys go on some big runs when that's in there.
Let's start with Ochai, and then we'll move to Mitch. Did you guys hear that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I was just saying about Remy, on Mitch too, they just give us a different look, different dynamic offensively, and how we move the ball and how he's attacking too, and looking for other guys. But it kind of just changes it up, just at that 16-minute mark or whenever it is when we're making rotations and looking at different rotations.
Mitch, take it.
Yeah, like he said, it gives you a different look than the first group. Remy brings a great energy, and I kind of pride myself on that as well. So a spark of energy to kind of get us going again. I think that helps our team win games. I enjoy going out there and being able to give the team that spark.
Third row on the left.
Ochai, this question is for you. Oh, sorry, Harold Kuntz from Fox 4 in Kansas City. But Ochai, this question for you. I talked to some of your mother the other day, and she was saying how you're really quiet, and now you've really developed into that leadership skill. Could you describe how you developed as a leader and being more vocal, and then the discipline that you learned from your mom as you've grown up to be a man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously I give a lot of credit to her by how she raised me and all that. But just me. being a leader in my time here. I've kind of seen it as, just being a leader from behind the scenes. Usually you have a guy above me or I'm an underclassman, so I don't really have that much say or power behind my words. But the moment I got back on my senior year, all these guys respected me and believed in me and trusted me. So, all I can do is just, ask for them to listen to me, and that's what they do. So I just give them all the props to them. So
Matt is up next, front left.
Matt Tate, Lawrence Journal World. For Mitch and DeJuan, Coach Wright from Villanova was talking about you guys playing with length, your guards especially. I wonder how important you feel like that'll be in this matchup. And then, Mitch, I wanted to ask you just about the physical nature of this game. All the Villanova guys were talking about how physical you guys can be. How important is that? And then also just lastly, Coach talked yesterday about this game. Nobody's talking about KU Villanova because of the other game. Have you heard that much from him? Is he talking about that with you guys? It's 3 questions, sorry.
DeJuan first on length.
Yeah. But, because our wings are tall, like 6'5", 6'6", everybody else, and then, I'm like 6'1", then I have like long arms, so, we just use our length against them. I feel like it'd bring like a lot of pressure on them or whatever. But what was the third question? The third one?
Mitch is going to talk about, I guess, the overall context of who's talking about this game versus the other semifinal game on Saturday.
Yeah, I thought you were asking about the physicality as well. The physicality in this game it's going to be a big part of it. I think Villanova is going to go out there and they're going to play physical as well. I think we do the same thing. It's just this point in the year, basketball is going to be physical. You get farther down the line, people want to watch us play more and get out there and play our hardest. So I think it's going to be a physical game. And then when it comes to if people are going to be paying attention to this game, I think they will be, but maybe not as much as the Duke-North Carolina game. And from our perspective, I think that's okay. It's basketball. It's a basketball game for us. It's a basketball game for Villanova. I think both great coached programs with storied histories. So just to get to go out there and play a basketball game that we all love.
Staying up front on the left.
Gary Bedore, Casey Starr, Mitch, and the other guys. Could you discuss Dave's work ethic and specifically how much work he puts in to be available for games and what sacrifices he's made?
Mitch, you want to take that?
24,000. No, he does a great job. He's always getting treatment. He's working on his own. Dave is somebody that, yes, he's been through some stuff, and he's never once had a bad word to say about it, never complained about it. He just knows he has to put in this extra work to make sure he's available for us to play these games. Hats off to him, and I think his hard work's paying off being at the Final Four.
Second row.
Yeah, Zach Boyer from the Lawrence Journal World. I guess for all three of you guys, you come in with such experience. You've been on this stage before, Mitch especially. You know what this is like. What do you think the value is of having an experienced team, a veteran team, having upperclassmen to lead can really do in situations like this?
Just in the interest of time, we'll have Ochai take this, and then we'll try to get a couple other questions in. Then we have other student athletes coming in. Go ahead, Ochai.
Experience, obviously, it goes a long way. Playing with these guys for numerous years, 3, 4 years, you learn a lot about each other, and you also learn about yourself as a team. But I think just this season alone, going through conference, having every single type of game that you couldn't imagine, blowouts, down by 17.5, different experiences. I think we're just battle tested, and we have been this whole season. So, we pride ourselves on that, and we have a lot of confidence on, going into any game, no matter what the circumstances are.
Up front to the right, Billy.
Billy Witz with the New York Times. Ochai, did name, image, and likeness is new, I guess maybe 8-9 months out, so it's new for everybody in the country. So I have a couple questions. One, have you done your taxes yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Couple weeks left.
And two, what advice would you give to I guess other athletes around the country, kind of going through this, and you probably having plenty of opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say just it's your own brand, it's your own self. No one's going to tell you to do something. It's your decision to do whatever you want to do. I think that's just the biggest thing. Do whatever you believe in, what your brand is. Just kind of represent yourself or correlate yourself with that.
We want to thank Ochai, Dewan, and Mitch for joining us here in the main interview room. We're going to get some of their teammates in here next. Thanks, fellas.
Yep.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys. Good job. Almost. How you doing, Chris? Ready. We'll be joined now by Christian Brown, David McCormick, and Jalen Wilson. As soon as they're in place, we'll take some questions. If you have a question for these student athletes, please raise your hand. We'll get to you with that microphone. Easy, easy. Welcome, guys. Congrats.
Thank you.
Watch him out.
We'll get to the questions first on the right side in the third row.
Hey guys, Chris Bunn, ESPN. In Kansas City, Coach Self told me that this team may not be the most individually talented team that he's ever had, but that you guys think you are. So where does that come from?
And that's for all three of these guys, or anyone want to volunteer, or do all three of you guys want to take it?
I'll take it.
Go ahead.
I would just say our individual confidence. We all worked really hard this summer. We knew coming back, we got beat pretty bad last year in the tournament. We all, had a little chip on our shoulder after that. And I would say that, motivated us to work really hard this summer. I mean, we kind of, heard the outside talk that there needed to be changes. There needed to be changes to the team. But we all believe in ourselves and we believe in each other. We all think we have, we're all confident in our abilities. We probably aren't, the most talented group he's had. But we all are very confident, and I think that takes us a long way.
Let's go to the front row.
Guys, Coach has said that the Kentucky game was a big game this season. Maybe the team learned some things after that. Could you comment on if that's so, and did you learn a lot after the Kentucky game?
Let's go with David and then Jalen.
For sure. I think that game was a game of looking inside the team, just building character, knowing what we have to do in order to win games. It was a game where you play, high-level athletes, and what we need to do is, as far as starting the game off right and starting the game off strong, we had to definitely play to rebounding and play to our size and what we can do offensively, and know that our strength is in defense. A lot of time through this tournament, we played defensively, made teams play worse than what we played. I think that's what we kind of held our hat on and really started from that point on from that game.
Two questions in the third row.
This question is for all three of you. You've gone through the Westwood One interviews, the spin camera, and everything involved with being in here. Just what's this experience been like for the kind of short time you've been here so far, and also shooting in the Dome for the first time? What was that as well?
Christian first, then David, in the interest of time.
I think it's all been really fun. I think the guys are enjoying, more of the media stuff than I am, because they make you dance a little bit, and I can't really dance. So I think they're having fun with that, and I get a little embarrassed. But it's fun. It's a great experience. I think walking onto the court has probably been my favorite part so far, just walking out there, being on the court, and just getting to enjoy the guys and enjoy the experience. This is what we worked hard for, and we're here, so we're going to compete, and we're having a good time.
David.
I agree with CB. I think just being here and just taking it one day at a time, just being present, not looking past towards the games, not looking, what we've done so far, but just being in a moment and being here with my brothers is honestly the most important part. Being in a big stadium, you're playing for your family, for your fans, but, you got here into this point because of the people you play and sit next to. So I just appreciate to spend the time with them here.
Staying in that third row.
Hey, David, I know last season, as far as losses go, didn't in the way you guys wanted to, something Kansas hadn't seen in a while. I'm wondering if you can tell me what you remember after that game, kind of how it fueled you guys to where you are today, and what it means to be here.
That question for David and then Jalen.
Last year is just definitely not the way we wanted to finish, but this year, looking back on it, it's just add fuels to the fire. We don't want to ever feel that feeling again, and of course, it's my motivations for Marcus, the senior that was there, and I felt like he definitely deserved more. As much as he had given to the program, we wanted to go a lot further, and this run is for him. This run is for the 2020 team that didn't get to finish out. It's for the people that haven't gotten to this point. So for all the players I played with and felt like they did deserve it, we're doing this for them as well.
Jalen.
I'd say just everything that happened last year with all the ups and downs, from going unranked to all the losses we took in January, then to end the season with COVID getting in the way and losing how we did. I think when we all went home this summer and training, I think that's all that was on our mind, which is coming back and proving everyone wrong about us. I mean, like CB said, a lot of people said different things about changes, and coming back, we almost had the same team as last year with little new pieces, but I think everybody just had on their mind to prove people wrong because we are confident in what we can do. And I think this whole year we've just been looking back and, showing that, this is what we're capable of. And now that we're at this moment, we just got to, seize everything that we have.
Left side, midway back.
David, for you or for any of the guys, if they did an updated version of One Shining Moment, who on the team would be best suited to sing the song instead of Luther Vandross?
David, who's the singer on the team?
I'm going to go with Jalen Wilson. He does a lot of TikToks and a lot of lip singing and all that good stuff. Yeah. So I got to go. I don't know who y'all think.
Is that you, Jalen? Do you want to sing?
I won't sing now, but I take full responsibility for that, yes. If we needed to, I got you.
All the way back on the left. And this will likely be our final question for these student athletes.
Chris Lee with Cake TV. This is for Christian. Christian, do you take any pride knowing that there's two local guys, and you and Ochai, that have led Kansas to the stage?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool to see what Oach is doing this year. He's worked really hard, and just to watch him grow and watch what he's doing on this stage is great for him. But we do take a lot of pride just in a couple Kansas City guys. Just doing what we're doing and doing it for Kansas. I think it means a lot to us because of the name on our jersey. So being from Kansas, it means a lot to do it in the Kansas jersey, and just to accomplish what we're accomplishing, and just to watch him accomplish what he has accomplished this year. It's been great.
We want to thank Christian, David, and Jalen for joining us down here in the main interview room. Coach Self will be next in just a few minutes. Oh, yeah, way better. Yeah, the first group was very late, so they got squeezed. They got to go stand on the industrial set with all the the sparklers and the fog lamps and stuff next. And yeah, you got it. We mix it up. Riverboat Gambler up here. Kenny Klein in the building.
Not enough.
And never enough.
Chris?
We're joined right now by Kansas head coach Bill Self. Coach, if you want to open things up with a statement, then we'll take questions for 20 minutes or so.
Well, we're obviously very excited to be in New Orleans, and we're here 10 years ago and had a great time, and I'm proud to have my team here representing our university.
Let's start on the left side with Matt.
Matt Tate, Lawrence Journal World. Coach, there's been a lot of talk about the guard posting up matchup in this thing. I wonder how important you see that. And I also, you mentioned yesterday no one's talking about Kansas Nova, and I asked Jay earlier if he agrees that it's kind of the undercard. He kind of laughed and said he hasn't had time to think about that. So I wonder how much you're addressing that or playing that up at all.
Well, I don't think the undercard here will get more attention than anything that we've ever had before. So I don't look at it that way at all. I do look at it as the majority of the tension, and probably rightfully so, will be on the second game because it's Duke Carolina and they've never met, and Coach Case last year and all those things. But you know, we're fired up. I don't think anybody in this field is flying under any radar or anything like that, and you know, everybody has the same goals, and actually I believe all four teams have a legitimate shot, you know, if they play well.
Coach, we're going to go to the right side, two up front.
Hey, Bill. Scott Gleason with USA Today. We have statistics that show that as far as spending goes, the men's basketball program at KU has nearly doubled what the women's basketball program has spent, and that goes in three categories. One is travel, the other is equipment, and the other is recruiting. I'm just curious to see what your thoughts are on spending equality within your own university and also men's and women's basketball as a whole.
Yeah, Scott, you're throwing that at me, and I have absolutely no idea what anybody else does. I mean, I know what our program does and those sorts of things, and we do everything first class. And it's my understanding, based on what I've been told, that the women are doing everything first class and the same things that we do. So I don't know about all the different things that go within a budget or how money is spent, but I do know that our university takes very serious, and our athletic department takes very serious of treating all sports the best they possibly can financially.
We're going to go to the second row, Dennis. Okay, let's go back over here to the left, right on the corner.
Hey, Bill. Amy Just from the Times-Picayune. 2016 feels like a long time ago, but how have you seen Mitch develop in the past 6 years to be, you know, the leader that he is, and, you know, in a unique situation where he's still playing college basketball 6 years later?
I think, I don't know if Mitch would love playing basketball a seventh or eighth year, but he would love playing at Kansas. He just loves the school so much. He's so popular on campus. I don't know that we've had many, if any, that would feel the same way about his school that he does. So it's been a treat to watch him grow up. I think you know, you think about how the senior year was taken away from so many last year in so many ways, and then you have the NCAA giving these kids an opportunity to get an additional year, and to think that he has an opportunity to go out this way as opposed to the way it could have been, I think is very rewarding for him. And I know there's a lot of other students out there, student athletes out there, that get the same opportunity.
Coach, on the right side on the aisle, we'll go with Mike. Mike L first, then Mike D.
Michael Pressey with NCAA.com. Bill, long tradition is such a part of all the teams here. When you start coaching at a place like that, and even now, how much do you feel the responsibility of carrying on, and how much do the players feel that, carrying on for the people who came before?
I think the players feel it after they've been there. I'm not sure they feel it before they get there. You know, we talk about, you know, there's only one place you could ever play for where the inventor of the game was your first coach. I mean, that's pretty strong, and I'm not sure it really resonates with the players until they've been there and can feel it, and all the videos and all the things that we show them and all the stories. I do think they feel it. But with me personally, I was a GA there in 85, 86. We went to the Final Four. I had very little responsibilities, but I saw firsthand just what it can be like there. And I mean, I take it very seriously that I'm the caretaker of the most historic program that's ever been. That's how I look at it. I know that's my perspective, but that's how I look at it, and I'm very proud to carry that because it does mean something extra when you stop and think about Naismith and Allen and Rupp and Chamberlain, and you go down Manning, and you go down the list. It's pretty special to be in charge and be a caretaker in the brief moment in time that we actually are.
A little further back on the right-hand dial, Mike.
Mike DeCourcy from Sporting News. Bill, all those names you mentioned, Remy Martin would not fit in a lot of different ways. He's very unusual player, and unusual for you to have someone who can go get his and often does in the way that he does. I wonder if you could explain a little bit about what it's been like to coach him and try to incorporate what he does into what you've done for 20-some years.
Well, Remy is probably different than anybody I've ever coached. But I've loved coaching him, and because I love his personality and I love his energy and these things. It's just been unfortunate for him this year because he's probably had about as frustrating a year as I can ever remember somebody that wasn't out with a season-ending injury. I mean, he comes to practice, works hard every day, does the extra 2 to 3 hours of treatment, whatever it is, and you get to practice, and some days maybe he can go, and some days maybe he can't even go. So, we recommended that he shut it down. He shut it down, and now I see and have seen what his presence can actually mean and how it could benefit a team. I'm still trying to figure it out, to be honest, on how to incorporate him the best I can, but to give him credit because he's figured out how to fit in with what we do. So I give him the credit. He's been awesome, but we didn't have anybody that you could run bad offense and come away with a basket, and he's one of those guys, and that's so important this time of year.
Front row toward the left.
Gary Bedore, KC Star. Bill, I wondered if you could comment on Dave's work ethic and how much he wants it compared to some of the other bigs in terms of getting ready for games and stuff.
You know what? I think we've had a ton of guys that want it, and their preparation is great and everything. I think I probably respect David's prep more than most, is because guys, we practice at 3, you show up at 1:30, you get taped, you go to weights, you practice, and you go home. With David, practice at 3, weights at 2, show up at 11:30 to get treatment and do all the things that he's doing, probably 6 days a week, 7 days a week, so you could go to practice. So, his prep work for opponents is probably very consistent with others, but what he has to go through to put himself in a position to play, I can't help but respect that a ton.
Coach, we're going to take a few in the back of the room toward the left.
Yep. Chris Lee with Cake TV. Bill, just how special is it to not only get here, but to have two local guys, and Christian and Ochai, play such a big role at getting you to the stage?
Well, it'll be special to get here regardless, as you said it. But we've never put an emphasis on recruiting local kids. We put more of an emphasis on obviously just going out and getting the best kids. And we've been able to recruit national for the most part. But it is pretty special that, within 45 minutes of your home, you have arguably two of the very best wings on any team in college basketball. So, and they were recruited, but they weren't highly recruited. I mean, whenever you're not a starter on your AAU program, that's usually not the guys that Villanova and Kansas and Carolina and Duke go recruit. So, and then they've turned out to be as good as anybody we could have ever recruited.
Coach, we're going all the way back, all the way left.
Mick Schaefer, KSHB 41. Speaking of local guys, you've had a T-hand on your team every time you've made the Final Four. I know you know the family very well by now. How much of a, good luck charm, do you treat them as?
Well, the T-Hands have kind of become the first family of our program because we've had, I believe, since 2007. We've gone to 4 Final Fours, and Connor was a part of 2, and now Chris has been a part of 2. So, and they both put their handprint all over everything we do. So, really proud of them. But the family's been unbelievable. They have one younger one, Marcus, but he's just a student on campus, so I don't think we can get him out. But they have been kind of our good luck charm.
In the center of the room, Coach, all the way back.
Hey, Coach. Len Jennings with KNBC. Coach Wright was out here talking about 2018, and he kind of almost describing it like it was an anomaly. Caught fire. It's happened to him. Just your thoughts on that, the game that you guys played in 2018, and if you have a similar takeaway.
I haven't wanted to think about that since 2018. So they were unbelievable that day. I mean, they made 18 threes, probably made 12 the first half. I don't know the exact number. They jumped out on us 22-4, if I'm not mistaken, and it wasn't over before it started, but it wasn't far off. By that under 12 or under 8 timeout, we had a long hill to climb, and that was a special team he had, maybe one of the best teams college basketball's seen the last decade, and certainly, when you're that talented and that well coached and drilled, and then you play your very best on a particular day, you're going to be tough for anybody to handle, and they certainly were too much for us that day.
Third row, Coach, right in front of us.
Coach Chris Budden, ESPN, to add on to that 2018 team versus this year's team, how are they similar? How are they different?
Our team specifically, that team that we had a center that was playing hurt. He had sprained his MCL right before then, so he wasn't quite himself. But I got to be honest, that 18 team was hot coming in here. I mean, we won a great game against Duke in the Elite 8 game, and we had probably the hottest guard in the country in Malik Newman at that time, and then we still had Devontae and Svi. So we were playing with potential pros, and this year's team, we've got 2 or 3 guys that I think could make a living playing this game a long time at that level. But I don't know that I would say that this team was more talented. But I think I could say this team was more connected on both ends. I think this year's team has become better defensively, and offensively we're not far behind at all what that team was. So I like this team. I think we got a collection of really good players, and then when really good players play well together, I think we can play at a really high level.
Coach, up front here, we're going to go to Alabama.
AP Stedham, WHEP, AM and FM, Foley, Alabama. Congratulations, Coach, and good to see you. Coach, what are some of the characteristics of a Jay Wright team? And then also, what are some of the crucial things you've learned about coaching in a Final Four?
Well, I think, Jay's teams are, if you were to ask coaches across America, I think that played against them, he said, well, they're unbelievably sound, they're fundamental, they don't turn it over, you have to beat them, they don't beat themselves. And in our sport, there's probably more games lost than there are games actually won, and they're not going to help you beat them. So that would be something that would be a great compliment if anybody ever said that about my teams. They probably don't, but if they did, I would take that as a compliment because obviously they're very, very good and sound. And my experiences in the Final Four, I actually had my best experience my first time. But the biggest thing that I think you have to do here, you have to find some way to keep minds and bodies fresh. This is draining and taxing for many, and it is up until Saturday. And if you're fortunate enough to win, then it's even more so after that. So, finding a way to keep guys off their feet, to keep guys not thinking about things, burning energy in the hotel room, things like that, and then obviously have them play with freedom. Those would be the things that I would try to stress the most.
Coach, midway back of the room toward the right side here. Your radio, I believe.
Hey, Bill, David Lawrence. Gillespie, his numbers, shooting the three. He's great at the free throw line, assists. Just comments about him? Does he remind you of anyone in the league now or previous that you have faced?
Well, he kind of reminds me, going way back to Mike Nardi. And then he remind me of Archie Diacono. And then he would remind me of Jalen Brunson. I mean, all those guys have certain qualities that, they can all post up. They all take care of the basketball. They're all good shooters, and they're unbelievable leaders. Anytime you're two-time Big East Player of the Year and obviously an All-American, you got to be able to play. And I think he's really a talent, but I think his leadership and toughness equals his talent. So I think he's a terrific college player, terrific.
Coach, second row on the left, Lawrence Journal World, or gentleman on the left is good too.
Yeah, Bill, Zach Boyer from Lawrence Journal World. You kind of went through this situation a little bit with Creighton, with Kalkbrenner going down. You get the situation with Moore going down. How much can you prepare now? Limited tape for a guy who plays 35 minutes, but you got the extra week now to dig into things. How much does that change the dynamic there?
I don't know that there's a lot we can do to prepare differently, because I think Jay's still going to do what they do. But they did play a game against Connecticut early in the season when Justin was out, and Villanova played arguably one of their best games of the year. I think they hung 85 on Connecticut and 6 of 11 from 3 and 21 of 22 from the line. So, and they did try to post their guards still the same way, even though Justin's one of their better posting guards. But they were able to play without him, and so they can draw from that and know they're very capable of playing very well, even without Justin. So. We'll watch that, and we have watched it, but I don't know if it showed me a lot of different stuff. But it showed me that, no matter who they got out there, they're capable of still playing the same way they've been playing.
Coach, we're going to try to take one from Zoom right now. We have Christopher out there. Chris, can you hear us?
Hey, this is Chris Idell from Herb FM Radio in Baltimore. Sorry about that. Coach Self, talk about your last time you've been at the Final Four. Is this team similar to that team, or is it a little bit different?
Is my team similar to that team?
Yeah.
I would say we're similar in some ways. That team shot the ball better and had more guys that could probably shoot with range. But that team was average defensively, and even though we haven't been great defensively all year long, I do think we're more capable on that end than maybe the other team was, and I don't think that we have as many prolific three-point shooters, but I think we got 5 or 6 guys that's all scored at least 22 in a game this year. So, they're more than capable. So there are some similarities, but I actually think I actually think this year's team. I wouldn't have said this in January. Overall, if looking at both ends, I think is a more consistent and probably a better basketball team.
Now that we've showed off our technology, Coach, we're going to go back into this room on the front left.
24/7 Sports. I want to ask about a rotation question. At the under 16, you usually go to the lineup with Remy and Mitch in there. It seems like you guys go on some runs when that lineup's in there. What do you like about what that group brings, and what has it made it kind of so effective through the postseason?
Well, Remy, he brings energy, he brings speed and everything, and Mitch, to me, brings shot blocking, rim protection, things like that. He's become pretty good at that, and so I don't know that we're a lot different or we're better, so to speak, but it seems like to me that Mitch, in 6 years, we've been watching him add energy to a game when he comes in, and we're definitely seeing that with Remy as well. So it just seems like to me it's a more energetic bunch whenever that team plays together.
Coach, this will be our last question. Back of the room, right in front of us.
Coach Bill Self, Darren Smith, Sports Radio 810 out of Kansas City. Looking back on this past season, is there a signature win or loss that you feel that may have gotten this team, together, cohesive to make this type of run that they're on right now?
Yeah, I don't know that there's a win that I would say that one really brought it all together for us, but there was a loss that certainly helped us, and on game day in late January, Kentucky came in our house and put it on us. And there was a big difference between what our team looked like than a team that could win a national championship looked like on that day. And even though we didn't really talk about it like that, everybody in our locker room knew that we had a long ways to go, because that was a very eye-opening and humbling day. And through that, I think that was a catalyst to kind of tell us, hey, we think we may be okay, but we're not near as good as we think we are. And I do think it helped us.
We want to thank Coach Self for joining us here in the main interview room. Coach,
Okay.
good luck. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
tomorrow
Okay,
before
bud.
you take the stage
Thank
on
you.
Saturday. Thank you, Coach. Great seeing you. What's that?